All right, everybody. You can hear me. I'll check that here in just a moment. Let me go ahead and share out this live. Hope everyone is having a divine day or divine morning, should I say. If you're having a divine morning, let's see, get this out. Let's share. Let's share to the story. Let me share to my stories real quick. And then I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna share to my group. And if you're not part of the group, Quiet Queens Building Teams, go ahead and join us over there, if you will. Not required. All right. We're about to get this thing started. Let me see, where is mine? All right. It's 7:52 in the morning. I normally hit about 8. I guess I got myself going a little bit faster. All right. So I know some of y'all are on your way to work if you're not already made to work. Um, Hope you have a great day. I'm going to always have a great day, even if I have not so many great moments in my day, but I'm going to definitely have a great day. I'm like, this hair, it's a little, whenever I do it, I got like all the shrinkage, so it's like really shrunk. Let's see. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on this morning. Before I do that, let me hit the record over here. So make sure I record it because we know Facebook don't keep anything up. So gotta record it for my documentation. Um, so like I said, divine rising on this morning. Uh, quiet queens. I am talking to the queens out there. Maybe or just really just scrolling and trying to find, you know, that space, that environment, that place. Um, and you may not be saying anything, but maybe later on, maybe you'll connect or whatever the case may be. But this is for you all. And you know, like I said, my target, whom I'm talking to, is introvert women. And if you are reading topic, it is you don't need permission to become yourself. A calm conversation about trusting yourself enough to build a life that reflects who you really are. This morning, we're going to be talking about identity, self trust, ownership, and why waiting for outside approval often delays the life you were meant to build, or we're meant to build. But make it personal, the life that you are meant to build, right? So we're gonna get ahead and get into that, and it's something I've been reflecting on lately myself um, is how many people quietly wait. And I get that I've quietly waited. I'm sure you've been quietly waiting, and and you wait until you know you feel more confident. You wait until you know enough. You wait until everyone understands, and you're waiting until someone tells you that you're ready. When ultimately you should know when you're ready. And I wonder myself how many beautiful lives stay on hold because someone is waiting for permission that was never someone else's to give. It is your permission to give yourself permission to do what it is that you want. So we're going to get into my first point here. And let me make sure I can hear myself. So we're going to get Okay, I can hear myself. Okay, so the approval and alignment are not the same. Approval and alignment are not the same. And I think many people grow up believing that approval means you're on the right path. And we myself, like I bring it home to myself, I'm definitely guilty of that, believing that, someone else's approval defines whether I am on the right path of where I am supposed to be going. And we find ourselves, it happens a lot with our parents. It happens a lot with the church. It happens a lot, in those are the two biggest places that I find it. And sometimes we find it on in the workplace, where we grew up believing that approval means you're on the right path. And the thing is, deep down within yourself, you know, but then you're looking for that external validation to tell you, hey, girl, you're on the right path. You're doing it. You're doing it right. This is the way it's supposed to be done. When quietly you knowing that that ain't it. But sometimes the things that are most aligned with us won't make sense to everyone around us. So, have you ever felt pulled towards something but held back because you thought other people wouldn't understand? And I find that we hold back a lot because again we're looking for that external validation from other people, and in my perspective, who really doesn't even matter. Because at the end of the day, when you make that decision to do and give yourself permission to do what it is that you want to do, whether it be good or bad in somebody else's perspective or in their eyesight, in their perception, I mean, you have to live with the decisions that you make, right? Not that person. I mean, because externally, I mean, to me, it's another person controlling your destiny, but you must be in control of your own destiny by giving yourself permission, right? You got to give yourself permission. So, self trust is built, not found. Have you ever heard that? Self trust is built and not found. You don't find it, you build it. And I think people wake up one day uh, full of confidence, and I think confidence is created. Every promise you keep to yourself, every decision you honor, every time you trust your own thinking, you quietly build self trust. Let me say that again for the people who quite didn't get. I don't think people wake up one day full of confidence. I think confidence is created, right? Every permission you keep to yourself, every decision you honor, every time you trust your own thinking, you quietly build self trust. So let me ask you, what promise to yourself have you been postponing? What prom promise, not permission, what promise to yourself have you been postponing? So think about that, and when you think about that, then you know what your next step should be. Stop postponing and go ahead and give yourself permission to do it, okay? Right? Hey, cousin, Miss Pickens, thanks for tuning in. Um, so let's talk about, you know, quiet women often second guess their strength. Quiet women often second guess their strength. And I think introvert women spend a lot of time observing. And I know for myself, I observe a lot. I mean, I observe, whether if I want to entertain a conversation or if I want to be in that conversation. I observe if I want to be in the space or if I want to be in that environment. I don't, I don't, just go into any environment because the thing is, I want to be in a space where I don't have to make my puzzle piece fit because I mean it's like forcing myself to be somewhere that I don't want to be. And so when I talk about introvert women spend a lot of time observing, they consider everyone else except for themselves, right? They think deeply, they prepare carefully, but sometimes that same gift can turn into waiting too long. And I found myself doing that for the last 2 years that I've been in this space that I'm in right now. I'm in a new space, a new business, and I spent, 2 years, you know, trying to do it someone else's way, knowingly, but deep within myself, knowing that I had my own plan. I mean, but I'm gonna be that coachable person. I'm gonna, be that accountable person. I'm gonna be that teachable person. I'm gonna be all those things, but then I found myself not moving. Um, and it felt like insanity. So let me ask you a question. So what would you attempt if you trusted yourself just a little more? Because that's one thing I did. I started trusting myself. And it's crazy. I'm gonna share this right here. I guess 'cause I feel like it's here. So I woke up this morning. I woke up out of a dream, um, and I was walking through this door, and I saw this SUV. I walked through the door. I saw this SUV, and there was people behind me, and I heard voices. You've been faithful of a few things. So now you'll be ruler over many. And so, I'm like, and when I woke up and I was with all gratitude, but I was saying within this, it's like we have been faithful of a few things, and now we are ruler over many. And it takes me back to, when I started on this path, where I was going to go for this year and not follow the path of everybody else. And follow my own path, give myself permission to say, hey, you can do this, and brought, what was in my head to reality. And this is another reason why this community, Quiet Queens Academy, even exists. And I said that, I knew that everything was going to start out slow, and I knew it wasn't gonna be, like, fast because I didn't wanna go fast. I didn't wanna deal with urgency. I didn't wanna deal with persuasion. I didn't wanna deal with, the urgency of everything. I just wanted to down, just slow down, and I knew things were gonna be slow, but I also knew that over time, it was going to compound, and I feel like, that dream that I had, it just confirmed everything, right? It just confirmed everything for me. Um, so, and why Quiet Queens again exist again? That's part of why Quiet Queens exists. And honestly, one of the reasons I created Quiet Queens is I wanted a place where women could discover that leadership doesn't have to be loud, where they could build through clarity, structure, understanding, and ownership. And realize that they don't have to become someone else to create something meaningful. And inside the community, the goal has never been to create dependency, right? It's to help women to become self-led because the strongest builders aren't always the loudest ones, right? They are often the women who finally decided to trust themselves. And if I tell you, that's one of the things that I did. I decided to start trusting me. I mean, who can you trust better than anybody, right? Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Don't be self-led. Be self-led. I mean, you're the best leader that you can ever have for yourself. And I can go a little bit deeper than that, but I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna keep it where I'm at right now. But you know, you definitely can trust you. You are your best judgment. I mean, at all costs, you are. I mean, because when no one's around, I mean, who's there? Who's gonna lead you? Who's gonna do that outside of the source within you, right? Outside of the source within you, that's the higher self, the subconscious, you know, that's what's going to lead us. The God spirit within us, right, is going to lead us, right? So again, let me ask you this. If no one else expectations exist, what kind of life would you choose to build? And really listen to that. If no one else's expectations exist, what kind of life would you choose to build? Because the thing is, at the end of the day, the choice is yours. The choice is yours. I mean, we have to stop living for everyone else and start living for ourselves. I know we're raised up to believe that, put other people first, but, I got to thinking about when I woke up to this, it's like, if I'm putting everyone else first, who's putting me first? And the only person that can put me first is myself. So start putting yourself first. Start building the life that you choose to build. Not no one else's choices, but your choice. You choose it, right? Give yourself permission. And permission is an internal, not external. Permission is an internal decision. And I think one of the quietest forms of ownership, it is one of the quietest forms of ownership. It's giving yourself permission to move. I mean, sometimes, we're in situations, we're in things. I mean, I can bring this back home to, me being married. I mean, you stand in situations, you stand in, this has nothing to do with relationship, but I mean, well, it does. I mean, you stand in relationships, you stand in businesses, you stand in places that, you know, you you're scared to leave it. But give yourself that permission to move because the thing is, I mean, it's your choice. You don't have to stay in a situation that you don't want to be in. You don't have to be in a business that you don't want to be in. And who cares what the external outside source says? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I'm saying give yourself permission to move, not because there is no fear, not because every answer is clear, but because you've decided your life deserves your permission. So let me ask you a question. What part of your future is waiting for you to stop asking and start becoming? So, what part of your future is waiting for you to stop asking and start becoming? And so, before I go into my close, if you are, um, if you haven't heard about Quiet Queen's Academy, you can get access to Quiet Queen's Academy at quietqueensacademy.com/community. Come join the community and get inside of it, and there is, some courses, things that I have placed in there. The quiet, excuse me, stop chasing the posture quiet conversations that convert, um, the business model explained. And so, if you would like to know more about that, I would drop that, excuse me, I'll drop that in the chat later, after I get off this live here, and, in all the spaces that I'm, actually, I am, live on all the platforms. But if you want to, get inside of that, again, it's quietqueensacademy.com/community. And so in closing, I just wanted to share this on this morning because I think many women are carrying a vision that has been waiting very patiently for them, not for more information, not for more approval, but for one decision. And the decision is to trust yourself. Let me say that probably to make it personal, right? I think many women carry the vision that has been waiting patiently for you, right? Not for you to have more information, not for you to have more approval, but for you to make a decision to trust yourself. And that's the heart behind Quiet Queens Academy. Creating an environment where women can build from identity instead of expectation. Because sometimes the permission you've been waiting for has been yours all along. It has always been your it's always been your permission. And sometimes, it has to be said. A lot of people won't say it, but it is. I mean, you think about when you ask a person for their opinion. You can ask for the opinion, they can give it to you, but at the end of the day, are you gonna take that opinion? Hmm. Or are you gonna choose for yourself? So meaning give yourself permission to do what it is that you want to do. And so I want to say I appreciate everyone listening in this morning, Quiet Queens. I am Shakitha. You all have a divine day.